Hi, today we are going to study about the structure of human eye, its anatomy and various parts. So first let us study the location. Now this is a human skull, right? And these structures, these hollow spheres, these are called the orbits. This is socket where the eye is placed. Now what do you know till now? You know that there are three parts of the eye: sclera, pupil and iris, which is visible to us. When you look at a face, you can see these three structures. Now the white portion of the eye, right, the outermost layer, this white portion is called your sclera. Then you have the colored portion, which can be variable for every person. This colored portion can be blue or black or bluish green. This is called your iris. Inside the iris you have a black colored spot, right, which can increase, it can dilate or it can constrict, right. It allows the entry of light into the eye, right. This is called your pupil, right. So there are three structures: main, sclera, iris and pupil. Till now you know this much about the eye. Now let us see other various structures. Now if I show you the diagram of eye, it shows that this part, which is facing the outside world, or you can say through which you can see the eye, this is called the anterior surface. The posterior part through which the nerves are going to enter, the vessels enter here, right. This part is called the posterior part, or the part where the image is formed. The image is formed here on the retina. So this forms the posterior part of the eye and this is the anterior part of the eye. Now let us see the structure. Now there are three layers of the eye. The first layer is called the sclera, second is called your choroid, third is your retina, right. So it is, the sclera is the outermost layer. Then you can see the second layer, this is the choroid. Then the innermost layer is called the retina, the point where the image is formed. Now the sclera has a function to maintain the shape of eyeball, right. Then you have the middle layer, which is called your choroid. Now choroid it has many blood vessels. Now if you see posteriorly here, the choroid here posteriorly is very thin and anteriorly it becomes thick, right. It is thick here anteriorly. So this part where it becomes thick, right, this is called your ciliary body, right. This ciliary body further forms a structure which is opaque, right, and that is called your iris, right. This iris is held by ligaments. It is held by various ligaments. Then you have the lens, okay, and this is also held by ligaments from the ciliary body, right. Now here you have the pupil. Now pupil is surrounded by the iris, right, and it can control the size or opening of the pupil. It can either dilate it or constrict it according to the amount of light entering the eye. So through the pupil the light will enter into the eye. Now when we come to the innermost layer here, the innermost layer retina, right. Now the innermost layer retina has two kind of cells, rods and cones. I shall tell you their differences in the later class. Now all the optic nerves here, all the vessels and the optic nerve, they enter through this area or the optic disc area. Here we have a spot, we have a point here. This part is called the blind spot, or in the blind spot there are no rods and cones, right. So that means no image can be formed here. There are no photoreceptor cells. Lateral to the blind spot here, lateral to the blind spot here, we have a yellow spot called macula, right. And in the macula there is a pit that is called fovea or fovea centralis. Now this fovea centralis here, you can see the retina thins down here. It is thicker here, right? But as we come towards the fovea, the retina is very thin down here. So this is seen here. You can say that only cones are present, right? And there is maximum visual acuity in this area, right? Now let us summarize again. Light enters the eye through the pupil. It reaches the retina here where the image is formed. There are three layers. Outermost layer sclera, second layer choroid, third is the retina. Now sclera is a layer which continues in the whole eyeball, and anteriorly it becomes the cornea, right? Now second is choroid, which is thin down posteriorly and is very thick anteriorly. Then it forms a opaque layer called iris. Iris is going to surround the pupil, right? It can control the size of the pupil. Behind the pupil you have the lens. Lens is held to the ciliary body with the help of ligaments. Now the space between the cornea and the lens, this area, right? This is called your anterior chamber, right? Then the space between the lens and the retina, this whole space, this is called your vitreous chamber, right? Now both these chambers, they are placed on two sides of the lens. The fluid present in the anterior chamber, this chamber, is called your aqueous humor, and the fluid present here is called your vitreous humor, right? So this part will contain your vitreous humor, and this part, anterior chamber, it will contain your aqueous humor, right? And with this we come to the end of anatomy of the eye. Functioning and physiology, we shall be doing it in the next class. Thank you.